We've been married for
21 years.
Yep. So he grew up Lutheran, and I grew up Catholic, but I didn't. I was going to mass every once in a while, Christmas, Easter, maybe occasionally if I felt like going on a Sunday. I don't know. I think we started to just have a lot of stress in our lives, and so we got to the point actually where we were on the road to a divorce. We just were not able to connect, and so that's when I started going back to mass.
One of the Sundays that I happened to go with her to mass, Father Paul was. This was just when the Adoration Chapel was opening, so he was looking for people to cover hours, and so I said it sounded like something I might be interested in doing. So our neighbors across the street were parishioners at Holy Rosary, and so I asked them. I said, "Do you think they'd let a Protestant go in there?" And she said, "Of course they will." And so I signed up for an hour, and so I spent the next year 1 hour a week doing adoration. At the time, my father had died. It hadn't been too long since he had passed away, and it really hit me hard. And I was struggling, and so I was going to therapy, and they put me on medication, and it just kind of dulled with my senses. It kind of just felt flat. Everything felt flat, and but if I wasn't taking the medication, then the anxiety and the depression and all that stuff just was right there. And but going to adoration, I was finding that peace, and so I stopped taking the medication because I was feeling at peace just being in his presence, and I've never had to go back on it. I've never had those feelings since.
But that's like one of the most amazing parts of the whole thing. He was better after a year of adoration than he was ever before, I think, in your entire life. Because I think that was just kind of like a something he had from the time he was a child, and it just really showed up during that period of high stress. And I was diagnosed with postpartum depression. So, but same thing for me. It just went away. So really, really, really miraculous.
Being in the presence of Christ, even though at the time I was just kind of figuring out and not completely understanding it, but it just drew me in. And once I got it, it was just, how can you be in the presence of Christ, know that this is, Christ is completely present, and not want this? And it just completely pulled me in, and it's just been. It's been an amazing journey ever since. Once we both started finding that peace, and it just, naturally everything just started turning around.
Yeah. Oh, completely changed it. Completely turned it around. It was so slow. Like, it wasn't. I mean, in some ways it was like a switch, but in other ways it was really slow. We were learning, like, the more we learned and the more we understood the truth, the more like we were on fire. And so being on fire together was really a good thing.
It brought us closer together.
Yeah. And even when that peace goes away, we know where to go.
One of the things that's really meaningful to me is the fact that when you go to Mass, it's Jesus is there for you every single time. Mm-hmm. We're all weak, we all fall, we all fail, and through the Eucharist and the sacrament of confession, I mean, Jesus is always ready to draw you back in, and it's just amazing. I just can't even tell you how much it changed my life.
And so there was actually a quote that really always kind of echoes in my mind, that I don't seek to understand that I might believe. I believe that I might understand. And so just keeping to come, even during times of like spiritual desolation or dryness or something like that, just keep coming and just being there. And that's most of the times when I'll just go and I'll just gaze, at the monstrance and just say, okay, Lord, right now I'm not feeling it, but I know you're working, divine radiation therapy.
Yeah, I mean, we're truly blessed to have that Adoration Chapel in our parish, because it's you can go anytime.
Yeah.
And for me, anyway,
Mhm.
when I struggling with something, and that just to be able to go there,
Yeah.
and be in His presence, whenever is that is truly a blessing.